G'day, I'm Clayton.
G'day, I'm Matt.
And we're two N enthusiasts. Today, we're going to compare two vehicles side by side. Tell me about yours.
So I have the 2020 Hyundai i30 N Fastback.
I've actually got the 2022, it's not a limited edition, but it's a limited run Hyundai N Fastback. It's brand new. I've probably got 1,000 Ks on it. So tell me a little bit about your car history.
So mine was I drove yours,
yes,
as for a bit of fun, and yeah, after I drove that I was hooked. I had to get myself one. So I went into the dealer to buy a hatch, saw a Fastback on the floor, and I was sold. It had to be a Fastback for me.
Yeah, right. So I've actually got another one of these. I've actually got a little a 2018 hatchback. Yeah. So I've had over 70 cars in the 30 plus years I've been on the road. So what about yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm not that high. I'm only about 6. So
yeah. You've got a bit of catching up to do.
Yeah, I've got a bit of catching up. I've got a bit of time to do that.
So really what I've got Matt here to do today is to compare our two vehicles side by side. We're going to look at the differences, both the interior, the exterior, and we're going to have a bit of a rev off, I think. Matt's done a little bit and we'll get into that, but he's got a little bit more going than what I do. So let's go and do this comparison, eh, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's go check them out, guys.
All right, Matt, I reckon we first start with the exteriors of these two vehicles because there is some new differences. Let's go and have a look at your car. Tell me a little bit about what you've done, because this is nowhere near stock, is it?
Well, look, no, I guess aesthetically, no. I've had some changes made to the car. So yep. The main reason I changed the front lip is because we've got the beautiful red detail down the bottom.
Yep.
I didn't want to wreck that
no.
when we scrape a few things. So I put a flow lip kit around the bottom. I think only after owning the car for like a day or two, I literally scratched red trim. So I was like, I can't have that anymore. No. I saw there was a lip kit available, so I literally made the most of that and bought that.
No, good job.
Put it on. So it saved that quite a lot. I guess another big change I've done is just black out the badges.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah.
Again, I'm a man of contrast, so I like a black and white, that big contrast thing.
Yeah, look, obviously, you know, you can really tell the difference between the two vehicles. You know, it does hide it. I really do like that. It
makes it all blends in. Grill gives it a bit of that hidden.
You've done the N badge
N as well, so it's just an overlay as well. Goes straight over the top.
Yep.
So I guess the other thing is if one day I go to sell it, not that I'd like to, they can easily just be pulled off. So
let's compare the headlights.
Yeah,
you got the standard headlights there.
With mine, I guess the biggest difference is you've got the bigger circular bulbs on the inside, but our blinker is down the bottom.
Yep. One thing I really loved about, you know, is the lights. I love the LED lights and the daytime running lights up here as well, and the indicators up here. There's been a whole lot of chatter about the high beams on these. I don't know. I don't drive mine a lot at night, but I actually think that the low beams are actually pretty good, which makes the high beams not as good, if that makes sense. So
yeah, I think, like, I drive mine a lot at night.
Yep.
With my line of work, and I must admit the high beam on them is pretty poor.
Right.
Part of me wants to get a nice big light bar.
Yep.
Just for driving, especially around here in Toowoomba and places, there's wildlife around.
Yeah.
To be careful of that. So yeah, I could probably hear that. So that'd be a good comparison between the two.
Yeah,
they've made there.
Yep. The grille. So you can probably see the changes in the grille. I think mine's just that little bit wider than yours. Slightly different shape, a little bit more aggressive.
More pinchier, I think, in the corner there.
Yep. The other thing I'm going to point out are the three little black inserts, which you don't have either.
Well, actually, that's interesting. They've moved them to the top, so I do have them, but they're right tucked
up. Oh, rightio. Okay. Yeah, actually, you're right. I just didn't see it.
Part of the bottom,
that metal part there, yeah.
As opposed to yours is on the top. So.
Yeah, I mean, from the front, they're very, very similar, but there is a distinctive difference, I reckon, between the two vehicles.
For sure.
So, Matt, round the back, let's compare the two.
Let's check them out, hey?
So, now your exhaust, that's not standard, is it?
No, correct. So, I guess as any Hyundai enthusiast does, the quickest and easiest mod is a res delete. So, look, not long after having it, see you later, res delete went. The exhaust, the stock ones were way too small, to be honest. So yeah, I think I've updated to maybe a 4-inch tip, I think that is.
Yeah.
Still not as big as the new ones.
No, they're not as big as these, but they're stock. I haven't changed the exhaust, except I've also done the res delete. Obviously I've plastered my sign writing all over it. That's a really shameless plug. But looking at the rear diffuser, tell me about what you've done there too.
So again, when I did that front spoiler lip kit, I needed something to do. So I've done the sides and also the back. So with the back, you know, we made the diffuser parts there look that little bit more, I guess,
bit more Formula One-ish almost. It's almost Formula One.
Yeah. Whether it does anything, who knows, but it looks really good, and that's all we want, isn't it? So yeah, just to give it a little bit more of that aggressive look with the diffusers. So you can see They're pretty much identical bumpers,
They are.
I reckon.
Yep.
Just those little diffuser fins,
Yep.
just in between them, just make it look a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah. Also, the way that the number plate is placed hasn't really changed too much at all either.
No.
In fact, right under that, I don't think there's any changes from here under either. Like that
No.
seems to be the same.
It all.
That little bit of a lip coming up here hasn't moved.
Actually, if anything, there's these bits here aren't on yours.
No.
So it makes that diffuser look like it comes up a bit further.
Yep.
So that's a bit of a change there in yours as well.
The lip,
I think
the
all
lips-
very much standard.
I reckon they're the same. I don't think they've changed that at all. The lip seems to be the same there. The only other thing is, again, LED rear tail lights. So I think that's a really good upgrade. I really love the way these look at night.
Well, I think, you know, at the end of the day, everything's going LED.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it makes a big difference, and it's good they made that change to make it a bit different.
Absolutely. And obviously you've blacked out the badges again. I do like that. I've taken my badge off at the moment, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm half thinking of either doing a pink one. I'm not sure what we're going to do.
Right.
All right, let's head round to the side, eh? Just move the cars so we can compare these side by side.
Yeah.
So let's come over here. Let's have a look at the new vehicle. So the wheels are probably one of the biggest changes from the side that I can see. What do you like about them?
So I guess the biggest difference in when they were talking about bringing out this model was they were going to the forged alloy.
Yep.
It's still a 19-inch, same
Yep.
as those.
Yep.
But as you can see, even if you just physically look at them, that
Yep.
is there's much less rim in that as opposed to that.
Yep.
I've just noticed having them side by side, essentially that rim is just the silver parts off that.
Yeah.
Just without the bulky black bits around it.
Yeah, right. Very similar design.
Very similar design, yes.
Yep. All right, let's move forward to the front brakes.
Yep.
Now, these have been, they've enlarged the brakes. They were about 345, I believe, up to 360. So it'll be really interesting to see whether you can feel any difference later on when you do take this for a run.
Yep.
So 360mm brakes on the front,
Yep.
which is a bit of a change. Now, there's been a slight improvement in the torque and the kilowatts. It's only a slight change. There's not a lot in
I
it.
don't think it's going to be a huge
No.
amount of notice difference, I think, between the two.
No, I think you'll find the motor will be, be very, very similar to what you've got.
yeah.
So that's the main differences. You've done a little bit of external stuff
Yeah,
on
look,
yours.
I guess from the side there's not too much to do really.
Yep.
I've just put the weather shields on there.
Yep.
Again, it's pretty hot today as well. Have the windows cracked down.
Yep.
Also looks pretty cool, I think.
So what have you done? What else have you done on the side
On
here?
the side here, so I've continued with the flow kit.
Yep.
So it's a side skirt that goes down the bottom here.
Yep.
I've also gone with our chrome end badges, which...
No, mate. Missing.
No, you need to get
I
them.
do need to get those sorted.
and
Someone
then-
hook me up with a set. I'd really love it. It'd be great, wouldn't it?
And then also just the nice red sticker there on the side.
Yep.
With this model Fastback, it quite came out with all your red detail trim, so I've
Yep.
continued that going on
Yep.
the side there as well.
Well, we had this discussion before. You know, I was thinking about I could put the red in here, but it's probably going to clash with my sign writing a little bit with the pink. So
Go a bit of pink instead.
yeah, maybe. So that's really it for the side. Very little visual from the side. The wheels are the main thing. Apart from that, they look pretty much identical.
They are.
Even the side of the tail lights here look very, very similar. You couldn't tell from the side. I think the wheels is the biggest dead giveaway stock, that is.
Yep.
I mean, if you had different wheels on it, you wouldn't know from the side which model you're looking at.
No, exactly
Biggest difference. Excellent.
Might be time to have a look inside, hey?
I reckon so.
All right.
Look at this, eh? What do you think of the seats?
Yeah, they're really nice, hey? Because mine's just the base model,
Yep.
basically. So seats are good, but yeah, these are
They're hugging, aren't they?
yeah very much hugging.
The only thing I really would have loved is a blue seatbelt. You see in the Veloster ends
yes.
overseas have the blue
Yes.
seatbelts. How cool would that be?
And it's funny, my black's got the red trims, my
Yep.
Fastback, and you hop in the end lines, and they've got red belts.
I know.
It
What's
would
the
have
go there?
been a cool option, I think, to have that. Alright, let's go for a bit of a spin.
Yeah,
That screen is so much better.
it is good, isn't it?
So
It is
good.
nice.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice, Matt, was the gearbox in this compared to my little hatch. Have you noticed anything there?
That is much smoother.
Yeah,
Much smoother. And I think the clutch feels a bit different too.
it does. I know it's a little bit lighter. It's
Yes.
certainly smoother.
Yes.
It's more consistent in its when you're depressing it.
Definitely. There's I think maybe with the word you could use it's a bit more refined. But that gearbox, that's smooth as. Mine's done 30-odd thousand K now, which I don't think should make too much of a difference, but
No.
as opposed to this, it's just a freshie.
I really noticed the difference between this one
Yep.
and my hatch.
Yep.
You know.
They're firmer, I'll give you that, over
Yep.
my cloth seats.
Yes.
I wonder with the amount of driving I do, whether that would become a bit uncomfortable.
Yep.
I spend a lot of time in my car with work.
Yes.
So I do really think the fabric does suit you quite well and the comfort of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I just don't know how that would go on a long, like that does feel quite firm in the back as well. It
Yep.
hugs, but
Yes.
it also feels quite firm too. So
One thing I did notice about the seats, I felt they were a little bit flat towards the back. I don't feel...
have you got the adjustment?
Yeah, there's some adjustments there, but I don't... In the other one I had a bit of under thigh adjustment, which I don't have in this.
Which they're gone here.
Yeah, they're gone.
So I must admit, again, long journeys that I do, you know, even if it's only a couple of hour trip to the coast or whatever, just sliding that out on those long trips does actually
it made
help
a big
with
difference
with the legs.
Mind you, I won't miss the little gap that used to catch all the crumbs.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
like I'm vacuuming those crumbs out.
It's all the time.
Or you know, all I do is snack at the car. It's like a little snack catcher, really,
That's right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I want you to give this a bit of a bootful when you come out of this roundabout,
see if we can feel any.
and see if you can really get anything that's... I mean, yours has had a cold air intake.
Yeah, look, the cold air intake. That's more, I think, noise than anything, really.
Yeah.
Makes it sound a bit dark later and makes it have a really good sound, but yeah, look, to be honest, power difference, I don't think you're going to notice it.
I don't think you're going to notice it.
Kilowatts or whatever it is between the two, I don't think you're going to notice.
No.
What I did notice following you out to here today to do some is this thing pops.
Yes.
Much more than mine does.
Does it?
For a standard, I know you've done res delete, but so high.
Yep.
This thing really pops and crackles on those, you know, backed off the accelerator, just coasting in. It did certainly crackle a lot more. And I had heard they did that.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely that. But look, without taking it to a track and seeing whether those fine adjustments they've done and how that compares to mine, because I've done a track day in mine now.
Yep.
That would probably be your true indication, I think, to see if those light alloys do anything or the extra power and that kind of thing. The Newton meters of torque increases a lot more than the kilowatts, so whether that means on a track day at a you know, slow speed corner, that may have a good impact. So
the only thing we didn't talk about too is the front track, the wheel track is slightly wider. I don't know by how much, I don't think they've actually told us.
Sure.
But there is a slight difference in the track on the front. So, I mean, you'd expect that'd have that'd result in some better cornering.
It'd have to, I think, on a track. Well, I imagine that's why they did it. Why would you increase it if it wasn't for some kind of purpose? I'd imagine it would be helping for the track for the front wheel drive.
I did also read there that they had tuned the suspension slightly differently. So I don't know whether you can feel it. We're on a really smooth road here today, out at the airport. So you know, I can't tell too much of a difference.
I can't tell. And you flick through your different modes. As soon as you go into that super sport, you know, the sport mode, everything's rough as anyway. Like it's not like you drive it much around town in that mode. Well, I don't, because it's just way too rough.
Look, I really think overall this car is more refined.
Yes.
Than my old one and yours. It's certainly, it feels a little bit more grown up, a little bit more mature. I think it's lost its little boy racer sort of tag. It's lessened that a little bit. It's still very much that, but it's I think it's a little bit more grown up. I mean, I'm 50 this year, so you know, I want something a little bit more grown up. You know, so.
And like, I've come out of Mazda to NPS 3 turbo, which was you know, your front wheel turbocharged, and the torque steer that thing had in it, I really enjoyed. You had to actually wrestle the car. This doesn't have that, but there is still an element of, there is a little bit of movement, not too much, but enough to make you, you know, realise what you're doing. But then when you take it on a track, it just sticks. The slip diff in the front of these is pretty good, hey? So no, I think overall, much more refined. I think much more, just feels a bit more solid. You know,
even that screen, that has been it's fantastic. And you plug your iPhone in, and it fills the whole screen with Apple CarPlay. So I've really enjoyed that. I think that's a real bonus. Having a bigger screen. It's not too big either. You know, I don't know if you've seen some of the screens that you see in cars today take up a lot of real estate.
That's right.
That's the way they're going these days. But you know, this one's just nice. I reckon it's a really good size.
It's not overly done. Doesn't look too complicated. The touch button options look quite good too. You know, gives a little bit of that that bit more upper class kind of touch. Like it looks like a piano black finish. So
it gets a bit smudgy. That's the only thing I've before filming here today, I had to clean the screen because you know it's full of fingerprints. But,
and all those piano black, if that's what you call it, type of finishes will absolutely
So I suppose the big question is, Matt, are you going to upgrade? I mean, there's only 500 of these into Australia, because that was what I was going to say before. The reason you bought your Fastback was because that was it, wasn't it?
Correct. I went into the local dealer and they were probably also the same. They said, no, there's no more coming. This was in December 2019 or 2020. Yeah, the dealer said, no, not making any more. Fastback's done. So yeah, I straight away was on the internet, and you actually found me my car down in Sydney. Sent me the link, and then literally I put a deposit on, I think it was Christmas Eve. And then I think I got it early January. So yeah, 2021. So and like,
I felt a bit bummed for you, to be honest, because that was the whole reason why you bought the Fastback. I mean, you love the shape too, you always said, but you said, oh, it's you know, they're never going to bring any more in there. Limited run, that's all they're going to do. And look, Hyundai, you've done it again, another limited run, only 500 in the country, so I wonder whether they'll repeat it.
Well, and that's it, I don't know, maybe if there's a demand for the Fastback they will, but I don't even know if all 500 are sold. But,
good call.
You know, like, but to be honest, I don't know if there's that big a difference for me to justify selling mine.
Yeah, well, that was my next question.
You know what I mean? Like,
would you upgrade?
No, I don't think I would at the moment. You know, I think this could probably suit those who maybe had a hatch. And then all of a sudden appreciated and liked the Fastback and thought, you know what, let's get a Fastback. And I think it's good. And you're going to get that limited run, which
I think it's going to hold the value
for
too.
The car. Well, that's why I bought the Fastback. When they said to me, you know, they're not going to make any more, I was like, damn, I need to buy one of them and look after it, keep it in good condition. I obviously drive it a lot. Like, I've done nearly 40,000 Ks in 2 years, so I drive it all the time. But it's still going to be one of those kind of cars. I think that'll be a bit rare, especially for the N enthusiast people. Especially if they're going to only just do the hatch and sedan.
Well, I think, you know, me, I've got the little hatch still, but I'm going to sell it. So, but this for me, it does feel like an upgrade. I do feel, you know, and obviously having a bigger vehicle too has been, you know, a bigger boot area for me has been quite good for filming and whatnot.
And I'm the same, like, I'm a photographer, so I need to chuck tripods in. I need to put drones and camera gear, umbrellas, lighting, all that kind of stuff, and the hatch just wasn't big enough for me. Yes, the tailgate's a little bit high in the boot, and I must admit that can be a bit of a pain with the Fastback, but you just deal with that, to be honest.
Oh, and I don't know, you probably can't see, but the rear vision out of these is, I've noticed that is quite significantly decreased.
You've come from your hatch, see, I know no difference, so I'm used to it.
And then I've gone and put a sign writing on the back as well, which is, you know, it's almost blocked it out. But the funny thing is, I can actually put down, the funny thing is I can actually hit the button here, and I can actually hit the button down here, and then we can actually see what's going on.
That's quite
on the
cool,
screen.
Isn't it?
So what's going on behind me. So I don't feel so bad about not being able to look out the back so much.
No, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah, you don't need to see your mirror.
No. So
maybe they've done that because of that.
Maybe.
Maybe that was feedback they received.
Maybe, but
that'd be an interesting questions to the people at home.
I possibly could have cleaned the camera lens on the rear.
I like that quality of that screen.
It is incredible.
There's a massive difference to mine. I know once mine's dirty, and at night time I can't see out the back. It's pretty cool. Interesting to see what that would be like.
I wonder if you could put some Rain-X on it.
Maybe.
Something like that, so that when it does get a bit of liquid on it, you know, you can't.
Yeah, maybe.
Doesn't smudge it again.
Some people have said, I've read on forums saying, change those lights to the LED lights makes a difference. So maybe that might be something I need to change that on.
Well,
cool.
I reckon that just about wraps this up. Guys, thanks for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this and you found it informative. I did this video mainly because there's no one that's really done a comparison between the old Fastback and the new Fastback, so I was keen to sort of do that. I might mention too, none of this is sponsored by Hyundai at all, even though I've got the hat and the shirt on today. Not sponsored by them at all, but we've had a lot of fun. Thank you so much, mate.
No worries, thank you.
Looks like you're going to keep your old bucket of bolts.
Yeah, I'll keep it. You can keep your new one, eh?
Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.